The foreign ministers of Qatar and Kuwait say there has been some progress made to resolve the Gulf crisis. Qatar has been under an illegal land, sea and air blockade by Saudi Arabia, Bahrain, the UAE and Egypt since June 2017. The foreign ministers say constructive talks have taken place between the four nations and they all want to reach a final agreement. President Trump's senior advisor, Jared Kushner, recently visited Riyadh and Doha for talks.
We have achieved certain progress at a certain point of time more than a year ago, and then things has slowed down. And right now there are some movements that we hope that this will put an end for this crisis, because we see and we believe actually that Gulf unity is very important for the security of the region, for the stability.
Two trains had a lucky escape from a rock slide Friday in New Taipei between Houtong and Ruifang stations. Around 8 in the morning, a rock broke loose from a mountainside and hit an overhead wire, which burst into flames. At the time, two local trains were making their way down the line, and both made an emergency stop before reaching the fire. When they came to a stop, a heavy rock slide tumbled down ahead of them, missing one train by just 30 meters. Local trains 410 and 4138 were carrying about 400 passengers combined. There were no injuries, but trains were delayed on the line due to rock damage, and two-way traffic is not expected to resume until next Tuesday.
Talks about a post-Brexit trade deal have been paused tonight without an agreement, less than a month before the transition period comes to an end. The UK's lead negotiator, David Frost, and his EU counterpart, Michel Barnier, have said that significant divergences remain and that Boris Johnson and the President of the EU Commission, Ursula von der Leyen, will meet tomorrow to discuss the next steps.
Everything will soon be changing for this distribution company and thousands of others. In just 4 weeks, goods going back and forth across the border with the EU will need extra paperwork and checks. Some fear that could lead to widespread disruption and congestion.
It's difficult enough getting in and out of the UK at the moment with the delays at the border crossings, the ferries. If you're adding 8, 16, 12 hours, whatever that may be going forward, who's going to pick up the costs?
Every 30 seconds, an American dies of coronavirus, according to new figures, as Joe Biden has pledged he will ask the public to wear a mask during his first 100 days as president. On Wednesday, America recorded its highest death toll from the virus since the pandemic began, seeing a record 2,885 COVID-19 related deaths, while more than 100,000 people were hospitalized with the disease, and there were 200,000 new recorded cases. The previous single highest death toll occurred on the 5th of April, when 2,752 people died from COVID-19 related illnesses. Overall, America has seen the highest number of coronavirus deaths of any country, with more than 275,000 fatalities from the virus. Over 14 million people have been infected with the disease, according to Johns Hopkins University in America.
Bahrain said Friday they have approved emergency use authorization of the COVID-19 vaccine for widespread use. The approval made Bahrain the second country to grant their authorization for the vaccine from Pfizer and its German partner BioNTech. Following the UK's approval on Wednesday, Bahrain's health authority said those approved vaccines will be used for high-risk groups first in line. According to AP News, however, the nation did not mention how many vaccines they have purchased, nor when the vaccination would begin. In Germany, the nation will be giving out COVID-19 vaccination free of charge. In a briefing on Friday, Berlin's health ministry said the vaccination will be free, no matter whether and how someone is insured. The government will be setting up hundreds of vaccination centers before the EMA grants the vaccine across European countries.
Mohammed Ashraf's uncle, Mohideen Jifri, died of COVID-19 on November 26th. The Sri Lankan government cremates the bodies of anyone who dies of COVID-19, even if it's a suspected case. It says its technical experts have advised this is the best way to prevent the spread of the virus. But cremation is forbidden in Islam, and some families are now refusing to collect the bodies in protest.
We obey the law, therefore you do whatever you want. We don't come for any this thing. We leave the body with you and we will walk away.
A number of other Muslims are also refusing to pick up the remains of their relatives. On Tuesday, the Supreme Court dismissed 11 petitions challenging the forced cremations.
Let's get to breaking news now. A hostage manages to escape and leads police to nearly 30 others in a case of possible human smuggling. This happened at a home on Raven Ridge Drive in southwest Houston, right next to Ridgemont Elementary School.
Xavier, police originally thought they were responding to a kidnapping case. Well, turns out it was much, much bigger than that. Now, guys, imagine in the middle of the night, you see a man running down your street wearing just his underwear, yelling he'd been kidnapped. Well, that's exactly what folks here in this neighborhood witnessed last night and called 911. Now, when police got here, that man led them to this house behind me where he just escaped. Now, inside, police found more than 24 people being held against their will. In total, 29 men and a woman who may be a minor were rescued. We're told they weren't hurt. Police are investigating this as a possible human smuggling operation.
Te luandro feta le mate fasata tsy mahatavagna izy rene le izay vao tena fata azy le kerengny vao tsy misy raha hafa tsy ny siloka tsy narara file fekerengny vao mandeha izy rene agnalagna sy tavy hariva zoko te mitsipela tsy maso
Panahon nisy raha nihanagny raty le niroro avao na ty lahialiny hijany ty tsy raha amteagna fa i raha hinany zao fa niankala zahay fa niroro avao tsy nisy azy le fa i avao ty